We are a month and a bit on from moving house, and it's finally time to get my life back on track. So obviously with the whole upheaval of everything, it's been fair enough to say that I have let things slip a little bit, kind of lost my self-discipline, especially working from home. I do think that standards of my work and my art have slipped a little bit, and just from that there's been very little development for me creatively and professionally, so it's time finally to sit down, dedicate this week to just fully focusing and getting myself back on track. My priorities at the moment are just to establish a good schedule again, just a good daily routine, starting especially with a good morning routine. Generally, if I have a good morning routine, everything else kind of follows from there. But gradually building up furniture and unpacking and getting things in place, so I think now's a good time to just regain some structure in my life and also figure out now that I'm living with someone else, how I'm going to fit my schedule around Ozzy's work schedule. So it's going to be a week-long thing, but today I'm just kind of regrouping. I'm going to focus a lot on the admin-y side of stuff just to get myself on a good footing for the rest of the week, just to kind of ease myself back into productive work days and have myself set up nicely to do that. So I've already packed and sent off a load of orders from my shop. I did that yesterday, so that's done and out of the way. And then today I've started the day as usual by doing my usual kind of bits and bobs of tidying and cleaning of the house before I get to work. Now, that was going to be just a quick one, but we happened to have an electrician around this morning, which has definitely held things up a little bit. I think if you remember in my last vlog, I mentioned the electric hob that we had that was just awful and old, and I said I think that it was going to take a while to get used to, but it turns out that as well as being the most inefficient way of cooking and just a completely ancient appliance as well, it actually was faulty, so every time we used it, it would blow all our electricity out in the whole flat. So this morning, a month on, we had an electrician around to come in and change it into an induction hob, which just meant that I had to kind of spend a lot of my morning waiting around for him to arrive. It's funny because I was watching a Chris Hong vlog the other day, and she mentioned the exact same thing, where she was saying that, you know, working from home, if you know that there's someone coming around, even if it's just, you know, at some point in the day, it's really hard to settle into work knowing that you're going to be disrupted at some point. And I had the exact same thing today, but eventually he came, he did his work. The hob was too big for our surface, so we had to cut into that, which meant that he was here for a lot longer, and it kind of cut off the whole of the downstairs of the flat for me, so I've been stuck up here and just kind of not on track with what I wanted to be doing. But he did a really good job, really lovely guy. Thank you, Dan, the electrician. He also cleaned up a little bit after himself as well, which I really appreciated, but because of the sawing and stuff that he'd done, there was a lot of dust and dirt on everything and in cupboards and drawers, so my usual quick tidy turned into a very big tidy and clean downstairs, which has really set me back a lot today. But thankfully, you know, I decided that this day one would be more of a casual one, just to kind of ease me back into a good routine, so I don't feel too off track. I do think I have a good amount of time for the rest of the day to get back to what I want to be doing. So I started out just by brain dumping all the things that I would ideally like to get done this week, and also as well as those to-dos, just more general goals for this week, just what I want to get out of it. So now that I've figured out the tasks that I want to get done this week, I'm actually going to head into my calendar. I use Google Calendar, and I'm just going to start laying out a few kind of general time frames for things. Not anything set in stone, but just chunks of time that I'm going to dedicate to specific things. When I'm doing this, I generally start with deadlines or meetings, things that are set in stone, and I work my way back from there. Even if it's like a personal thing. So for example, I'm having friends around for dinner on Saturday evening, and one of my to-dos is to clean up a dining table that we got from a charity shop. I just want to at least give it a deep clean, but hopefully strip off a few layers of the varnish that's on there. It's quite old, it's quite thick, so strip off that varnish and restain it, and I would ideally like to have that done before we have people around for dinner. So I can kind of look at my calendar and see where I'm going to put those kinds of things in. And now for the first time, I'm also going to start putting in Ozzy's work hours, because they change every single week. And obviously it doesn't affect me too much whether he's here or not, but I do like to know kind of, you know, if he's going to be here for dinner, and, you know, what days we both can figure out to have off together, so maybe we can go and do something. But what I do on Google Calendar is I'll probably keep his calendar hidden, just so it's not getting in the way of my tasks as well. different outfit, same day. It is 3:30 in the afternoon now, and I've only just had a chance to have a shower and eat with all the extra stuff that's been going on today and the kind of repercussions of that. Yeah, I'm way behind, but thankfully I didn't put too much on my plate for today. I really am grateful that I chose to ease into having a productive week and made Monday that day that was just going to be a little bit less stuff. So I'm still kind of on track with whatever I need to be doing. I am now pretty much set to spend the rest of the day just sat right here at this desk whacking out all the other bits that I've got to get on with. But now that everything's done and out of the way, I can really just focus on what needs doing. I'm going to use my kind of modified Pomodoro technique and set a 45-minute timer, whack out as much work as I can in that chunk of time, have a 15-minute break, and then do that as many times as I have to. And that's just the best way I find for me to do work that I don't necessarily want to do. I've also got a lovely thick smoothie that I whipped up with all our kind of fruit and veg that's on the turn, so this should tide me over until dinner time. But yeah, it's going to be probably quite a boring one, so I'm just going to crack on, do as much as I can, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting it all done so I can start the real fun tomorrow.
Look out, here she comes, the woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel, because she has someone who makes her happy. I'm a ghost in these walls, or at least I try to be. 'Cause I hope that I'm not showing her how I feel for her, but she won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture.
I've really been loving my mornings in this place, you know, when Ozzy's left for work, and it's just a nice time to myself, a little bit of me time, so I can kind of potter around and tinker and do whatever needs doing around the house. It's kind of weird. I really love cleaning and tidying. It's like I almost wish I had more time to do it in the mornings, but I do think my main struggle with the mornings is just making that initial step to actually get up and start doing things. Once I'm doing it, it's fine, I enjoy it, but I've always struggled with getting up in the mornings. I've never been a morning person, and like this morning I spent a good 2 hours just lying there trying to convince myself to get up, but it's hard to convince myself to leave the warmth and comfort of my bed, especially when I'm here on my own. So that is really the main goal for this week, just to get myself back into a good routine of getting up when I wake up, and you know, once I've sorted that out, the rest should really follow. So when I'm done with whatever little jobs I'm doing around the house, I come into my studio room and sit at my desk, and I love leaving my calendar open, just so as soon as I sit down and turn the screen on, I know exactly what I'm aiming to do that day. I kind of get that instant direction. So here's a better look at my calendar. You won't be able to see it all in detail, but you'll get a kind of general gist of what I'm talking about. So anything in light purple is kind of a personal thing, so up here is usually just like my morning routine. The darker purple stuff is my work stuff, and then you'll see in the middle there's like light purple, so like lunch breaks, and then down here is just making dinner and winding down for the day. Anything in this colour is like a meeting or an appointment. Then down here, anything in yellow is kind of a social thing, so I've got Rob and Jodie round for dinner. From 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Is just what I've penciled it in as. And it's not particularly detailed, it's more just like chunks of like where I'll be and what I'll be doing at certain times, rather than like hour by hour. And like I said yesterday, I've added Ozzy's hours to the calendar as well, so he's there in the blue, and as you can see, on the days where he's working longer, I do kind of extend my work days just to make the most of that time that I'm here on my own. But yeah, the first couple of things on the agenda today were to catch up on a couple of things I didn't have time to do yesterday, so I needed to book a dentist appointment and a doctor's appointment. Hi, I'm calling in to book in to get 2 fillings. I'm booking in for a cervical screening. Would it be possible also just to, I've been grinding my teeth recently, and I wondered if I could talk to the dentist at the same time about that. Alright, perfect, thank you. Alright, take care. Alright, you too, bye. I've been putting that off for so long, but I thought while I'm working on my calendar, it'd be good to pencil those in. And now I'm ready to start my day properly. Today is going to be a creative day, which I'm really looking forward to. I've been really stuck art-wise, really kind of unsure of my work again, and that generally means that I need to focus more on studying, on learning something new. Usually I will use Skillshare. You guys know I've loved Skillshare forever. I think I might still have a coupon for 2 months free if you're interested in taking any classes. I'll leave some links below to my favourite classes on there anyway. Not sponsored, but I just thought I might shout them out. But yeah, this time I'm looking for something a little different. I've been eyeing up schoolism for a while, and I think I'm going to check out one of the courses on there by Nathan Folks. He's done some really incredible work. I've loved a lot of his animation backgrounds. I think he worked on The Prince of Egypt, which is one of my favourite films of all time, and he has a few courses on there, and I don't know, it's a different type of learning. I really like to kind of diversify any lessons that I take in, so sometimes I like to read, sometimes I like the way that Skillshare do things, and this is something else that I just wanted to try for a while. It's a bit more of an investment, but it's something that I've really thought about for quite a while, so I'm excited to check it out, and hopefully that'll kind of kickstart me back into being more confident in my art. I've also been reading a lot more recently, so I kind of spend my evenings reading. At the moment I'm reading a book about kind of taking small steps to achieve your goals, and it's really helping to put things into perspective for me and just kind of reel in the expectations that I think I've been putting on myself recently to just jump into this new place and be this fantastic new person. It's good to kind of step back and think about the little steps that it's going to take me to get to where I want to be, and also the little steps that I've taken so far to get to where I am. But yeah, today is going to be an exciting day. It's going to be just a good day to bring attention back to myself and just kind of enriching my mind and feeding my creative side to hopefully, spend the rest of the week putting stuff back out there.
Hey everybody, Nathan Phelps here, and I am so excited to welcome you to my landscape sketching class.
Without knowing she did, but I guess that it will pass. Yeah, I can't be the only one who got lost inside the blue of those eyes. I've gotta let her go. I know it won't be easy. I wanna hold her close, but I have to try as hard as I can, 'cause she'll never be mine. I listen when she talks, I watch her when she walks. She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before. She will never know that I love her so well. She's with somebody else and I will have to let her go. She will never know, never know, she will never know.
The schoolism class went really well. The teacher, Nathan Fowkes, was just amazing, just an incredible teacher, and he has such a huge wealth of knowledge, and also just the way he delivers everything that he has to teach is entertaining and really captivating, and I'm really looking forward to carrying on this course. It's a lot more structured like a uni kind of lecture, and you also end up getting homework at the end of each lesson as well. The lesson that I took was about 2 hours or maybe even longer, but it was so worth it, and it had just the effect that I wanted. It really spurred me on to start making some art. I got on with the first part of the first homework assignment. If you sign up to the proper course on Schoolism, there is a waiting list that you can submit the homework to him. I think the next available slot to be in that class is in May 2019, so I'm not doing that, but I'm still going to do the homework assignments. And yeah, I would 100% recommend it if you do want to make that kind of investment into really immersing yourself into, you know, school-like lessons. So after finishing that off, I did get on with a bit more work. I actually worked quite late just because, as I said before, Ozzy was working late that evening as well, but it turned out being quite a stressful evening just because the oven now doesn't work. So obviously on Monday we had the hob replaced, and I think he must have switched something off when he replaced it. Also, not an induction hob. I don't know why they told us that it was an induction hob. It's still electric, which is fine, but I don't know why they told us otherwise. But yeah, now the oven isn't working, so that scuppered my dinner plans and just kind of set me in a bad mood. But I've already contacted them this morning to see if they can come in and fix the oven now, which is going to be, you know, another kind of setback in the week, just another thing that's taken up time already, you know, talking back and forth with them, and it's going to take more time again to, you know, sit around waiting for the guy to come and sort it out. It should be a quick thing. I really think he's probably just unplugged something or switched something off and not switched it back on. It's just not something that I have access to. Like, I've tried switching all different switches and just nothing's working, so that's on its way to getting sorted out. Anyway, I'm still on track pretty much with how I want to be getting on with this week, and today's focus is really getting back into my online presence. I always take like these weird little breaks where I just don't like uploading things on social media. I just like to keep things to myself, but I'm in a place now where I feel ready to get back into a good routine. It's been a long time since I've had a good routine with how I post online. So today I'm actually filming a speed painting, almost finished now, and it's an interesting one. I feel like I don't make as many speed paintings as I used to, so I'd love to know what you guys prefer. I do find, I don't know, I've seen this with a lot of art channels where it just kind of gets boring to make these kinds of videos, to make like speed painting videos. I know Bailey J has talked about it, and she's found a really cool way to kind of format them differently to make it more interesting for her to film and to edit. But yeah, let me know if you guys really miss the speed paintings, and I will definitely do more of them. But I'd also just love to know what kind of content you like seeing on this channel, and I don't know what stuff you're interested in and not interested in. So I'm pretty much done here, and I'm quite happy with it. I was painting different views from my windows here at the new flat, but I guess if you watch the video you'll see more about like the information behind these paintings. For the rest of the day I am still going to be, as I've been for the last few days, just sat at this desk. But I will say, whenever I am having days like this, I do make sure to get up at least once every hour to move around, stretch, and just, you know, get the blood flow going, because it's really not good for you to be sat at a desk all day solidly. So the plan for the rest of the day, and the daylight is already fading, it's only 2:30, but the plan is to respond to some emails. I've got an invoice to draw up and send to a client. I've also taken on a new commission, which I said I wasn't going to do. I was going to focus on more personal artwork, but this one was just too good to pass up, so I want to maybe get some concepts going for that today, but we'll see. That might have to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking on my website and shop, just to update the product descriptions a little bit, nothing noticeable. I want to edit the video that I filmed today and hopefully upload it today as well, and then I've got 3 kind of proposal type things to write up, just kind of video related stuff that I need to send to a sponsor to see if I'm on track. And then with whatever time I have left, I'll go through a few of the things that I was supposed to do in the last couple of days that I hadn't got round to yet. So yesterday was a bit of a difficult one actually. Ozzy's work hours changed, so apart from Monday, he's actually been out of the house every day this week between about 8 in the morning and maybe 12 o'clock at night. So it's been a bit difficult just kind of trying to fit everything into my schedule, getting on with my work, and also just dealing with stuff around the house. I actually had a deadline this week on Tuesday that I didn't manage to meet in time, which is obviously not something that I'm happy with. It's not the way I want to work, and there were some things that were out of my control that led to that, but yeah, not ideal. I did finally finish that work last night. I was working on that till about 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's done, it's out of the way. So, but yeah, the stress of that is not something that I really want to repeat. On top of that, yesterday was just one of those days where everything goes wrong, so I actually ended up like melting the sleeve of my dressing gown onto the new hob. I think the dressing gown must have like synthetic fibres, obviously, maybe some kind of acrylic, but yeah, I accidentally leaned over it and it melted onto like the glass or ceramic top of the hob, and it was an absolute nightmare to get off. I spent pretty much the whole day just coming back and trying all different things, soaking it, heating it, cooling it, scraping it. Obviously didn't want to damage the surface either. But yeah, in the end I had to use a mixture of baking soda and vinegar and a really rough sponge, and just spent really long going like centimetre by centimetre, really scrubbing it. And as someone that doesn't have a lot of upper body strength, having done this table, having like scrubbed this table and scrubbed that hob, my body is knackered now. I was also planning on going food shopping yesterday as part of my like, you know, stuff around the house day. But as I said, we had the electricians round yesterday to fix the oven, so I was waiting around for them to arrive, and they ended up not coming till about 4:30, 5 in the evening, which, I mean, you know, obviously I could have gone shopping if I'd known that that's when they were coming, but it's fine. They fixed the oven, which is great. We can cook again now, and I ended up going shopping this morning instead. So now that that is done and out of the way, and now that I've actually finished all the work that I need to do this week, other than editing this video, I'm actually going to have a self-care day today. So basically that's just going to entail just kind of chilling out and getting on with some personal things. I think I'm going to wash my hair, probably do my nails. I haven't done my nails in so long. And then I'll just slowly but surely catch up on a few of the tasks that I haven't got done yet this week. Easy little things, potter around, my favourite kind of things to do. I'm going to kind of dip in and out of doing this table as well, maybe putting on a layer of this stripper, leaving it to sit, going and doing my nails or something, and then coming back and working on it again. And hopefully it'll be ready for when we have people around tomorrow.
Feeling is all gone.
I know it might not look like your typical self-care, but for me it's just all about spending time with myself, doing something kind of self-indulgent, and just having that moment to zone out and just focus on the task at hand and nothing else. And as you know, I just love to get my hands dirty and get stuck into something like that. So I got the table just kind of finished enough, just the tabletop I got to a state where it was ready to be varnished, and then the legs are going to need another couple of rounds of stripping before I can varnish those. But here is how it looked the next day. After that day, I felt like I really needed some human interaction. Obviously, I've spent the whole week just basically here on my own, so I just popped over to my mum's and had my dinner there. We watched some telly, I think we watched a film, and that was enough to kind of break me out of that little isolated circle that I'd put myself in. On Saturday morning, Ozzy and I popped out to the shops to pick up the last little bits that we would need for dinner, and then we spent the rest of the day just preparing for our guests.
Watching the stars and the city lights. Right from the start, said we never grow apart, dear Wichita. You wanted me to know, never ever was it such a sight, watching all the lovers fall into the night. All the moods in a heartbeat, we're going back where it all began. The same ground under our feet, starts to shake with your heart.
We had such a great time, and Ozzy couldn't have made a better meal. It couldn't have been more perfect. And as I had expected, we were up till about 6 in the morning the next day, so understandably Ozzy and I spent the rest of Sunday just chilling in bed, sleeping. It was a lovely wind down to what had been a really, really good week, really productive, and just a nice feeling to it, I guess. And I want to make a habit of having more weeks like that, even if I'm not filming them. Anyway, that'll do for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this kind of video, if you like to see the kind of week in the life structure, or you do prefer the monthly kind of vlogs that I do. I'd love to hear from you, and other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye.
The tales we were told we would never grow old in Wichita.